Sometimes I ask myself, what is the actual point of being disciplined? Like, what's the point? Especially when I was like super lost in life, especially even after self improvement, there was a point where we all experience where we feel lost in life, and we ask ourselves, what is the point of the self improvement stuff? What's the point of being disciplined? I'm not even improving my life. I'm not even changing. Nothing. 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 I've asked myself this question so many times. What's gonna happen if I just go back to my old life? What's gonna happen if I just go back to my friends that I didn't need to cut off before? What's gonna happen if I just start playing video games every 6 hours, like just 6 hours a day again? What's like what? It seems like that because right now we are at. I mean, I've gotten thanks to God, but I've gotten past that. But some of us are at this lowest point in life, especially even after self improvement, even after sacrificing Instagram, TikTok, all of this weak freaking just dumbass BS. What's the point, right? What's gonna happen if we go back to our life? That's what you ask yourself, right? You've I think the issue is, bro, we've forgotten the entire point of being disciplined in the first place. We've forgotten the entire point of being disciplined. We've forgotten the entire point of being on self improvement. Because the thing is, like, people tell us this story, this movie, they sell us this picture of, oh yeah, when you get on self improvement, then you're gonna become a millionaire. No, bro, there's so many freaking losers that are millionaires. There's so many degenerates that are millionaires. There are so many people. All they do is party in the club. They just pipe a bunch of hoes, and then all of a sudden, like they're still making money. They're still making a lot of money. You see a lot of people online, right? Freaking, Togi. If you guys know Togi, all this guy does is gamble, probably just pipe a bunch of chicks, and then go to the gym and he makes money. So what's the point? What's the point of this self? What's the point of sacrificing? What? Why? They tell us to sacrifice this stuff. Why? But there's other people doing this the same. So what's the point? You forgot the entire point. You forgot the entire point of trying to be on self improvement, bro. Remember? Okay, let's go back in time. Remember when you're first very down bad? Remember when you made that one decision? You know what? I'm gonna change my life. Do you remember that point? I remember when I was at that point. I remember this was in late November of 2022. I just got my heart broken. And I realized I had enough. I had enough with the way I was living. Maybe what that wasn't enough, bro. But that was that one moment where I realized I probably need to change something about myself. I probably need to change something. But you have to realize that the average lifestyle that we lived, that every other children lived, that every other kid lived, that every other person our age lived, the average lifestyle of playing Minecraft for like 12 hours a day, 11 hours a day, playing Fortnite for this many hours a day, snacking on chips. All we had in our cupboard was cookies, freaking cookies and cream ice cream. Like that's all we had: Cheetos and Doritos. I'm not even lying. That was my cupboard for most of the time, like my pantry, my food pantry. Oreos. So like, yeah, it was good in the moment. It tasted good in the moment, but how did that make you feel after? Like, I'm not saying after a couple of hours. All those years of just continuous instant gratification, as we call it, how many years did you just do that, right? From the ages of when we were super young, we were introduced to this stuff until maybe like our teenage, early 20s, these kinds of years. Like now, how many years did that compound? And now you felt the pain. That one moment you decided to change your life, that's when you felt the pain of your situation. That's when you're like, okay, all those Cheetos, all those things led me to being this weak, fat, lazy loser. All he did was chase, chase, chase comfort. You have to realize, bro. Let me go back to my story a little bit so you can get some context. I was born weak. I wasn't born weak. I was raised I was raised weak and feminine my entire life. My entire life, I was raised weak and feminine. Okay, so you might be like, "What's the point?" Well, how does that help us? Because because I was so weak and feminine that I was shunned a little bit. A little bit. I was not taken seriously. I was I didn't feel like I was. I'm not gonna say an outcast. I wasn't like a freaking like Naruto looking guy. No, I wasn't that. But I was like, there was a lot of shame to my name. To be honest with you, like if people like they saw me, they're like, oh, it's this kid again. I don't know what I did, bro. I don't know what I did. And then, others would find me like I was super ugly. I was extremely fat. I remember this one time where I sat down in a school chair in a classroom, and some kid like was doing something funny, so I moved to the other chair, and beside the other chair that I moved to, there was a girl sitting there. So, like, just picture this, right? We're in the front of the classroom. We're about to start class. This kid, like one of my friends, he did something funny, so I just moved to the other chair. There was a girl beside me. Let's say there's a girl here sitting beside me. When she saw me move to the chair beside her, she just looked in such a disgusting way. She's like, "What the ew?" She literally said "ew" and she moved. You don't know how much that freaking hurt, bro. Of course, I played it off. I just did class. Yeah, I was focusing on class. Yeah, whatever, right? But I wasn't focusing in class. I was not focusing in class, bro. I was, well, I couldn't even focus for 30 seconds, let alone focus in class. But that hurt my ego. That hurt me that probably dealt some level of trauma. Like I always saw myself as a loser now, right? And yeah, I did. I always saw myself as a freaking loser. I always saw myself as someone underachieved, nothing achieved. Always felt behind people. So obviously, something was wrong with my life. Obviously, something needed to change. Obviously, that's why I ended up playing video games. But I put all of that pain I felt there, the pain of feeling inadequate, the pain of feeling weak, the pain of feeling not seen and heard, the pain of not feeling like you belong in school, in my social surroundings, in my house. But this is why I went into hours of playing video games, creating friends online, and playing the hours of video games I did play. Playing the specific video games that made me feel like I was a winner. Fortnite, Minecraft, PvP, if you've ever been into that stuff, bro. Bro, no one could beat me in Fortnite, Minecraft, PvP. I tried to become pro in Fortnite. That was just my game. Like I was buying these gaming mouses, these gaming keyboards, you know, with my parents' money, obviously. But I tried going professional. I tried streaming, and of course, none of it went to plan. But why? Because I never felt like I was needed in this world, for in the real world, and I never felt like I was good at anything. I never felt like I always felt like a loser. So I put that all into the video games. But then, putting the all into the video games only was me running away from my real life self. So in real life, I was still a weak little loser. So one day I was like, all these tubs of ice cream that I was gobbling down, literally tubs of cookies and cream. I still remember cookies and cream and chocolate ice cream from many brands like Nestle and stuff. I was just like chugging like tubs, bro. Boom. I used to mix Nutella with Oreos and cookies. Freaking disgusting. I know. Like Chips Ahoy, I used to put Nutella on top like a sandwich. It's freaking disgusting. I used to do that. Why? Why? I needed to fill this void in my heart. But I realized all of that thing I was doing, all of the instant gratification, all of the average life that I was living, bro, I needed to change and become strong again. I was done. I had too much pain I had too much freaking pain living my life. I didn't want to live this life the way I was anymore. Which is why I decided to change everything about my life, which is why you decided to change everything about your life. The reason why I explained my story is because then we realized why we changed. It wasn't to make money. It wasn't to make 10K a month. It was to become our strongest and most capable self. The issue is when we get caught in business, in the self-improvement journey, when we get caught in making money, because all of us are in the process of making money. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. You're trying to start a business too, right? What happens? We get caught in this money, money, money mindset, and we think that self-improvement relates to money. No. Self-improvement relates to us. The version of us that couldn't focus in school, the version of us that got 50s in tests, the version of us that failed his tests, the version of us that never excelled in the real world, who only excelled in the fake world of video games and social media and portraying a fake picture. The reason why we got into self-improvement and to become disciplined is to first change us. That's the entire reason. To see our weak selves behind and telling that weak version of ourselves, don't worry, bro, I got you. We're going to be the strongest, most capable, most undeniable version of ourselves, a version of ourselves that reached his potential, a version of ourselves that he's proud of. That was the reason we went on self-improvement. The issue is me and you forgot that reason. Me and you forgot that reason. We get caught up into business. We get caught up into this. We think meditating is going to help us with business. It will, but that wasn't the reason. The reason of meditating was so we can become our best self. So you might be saying, what's the point of becoming disciplined? What's the point of living this lifestyle? Why? Why? Well, you know why. You know why, bro. I don't think you want to be you want to be a weak, mediocre person. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this journey in the first place. I don't think you want to be a weak husband in the future to your wife. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this place in the first place. I don't think you want to be a feminine little husband getting bossed around by his wife. It happens, bro. Most husbands are like that. I think you want to be a freaking masculine leader because we're weak and feminine into our lives. So remember, what's the point of being disciplined? This is the point of being disciplined. This is the reason to be disciplined. This is the reason for us to push to our potential. So right now, you're in your comfort zone. Right now, you're wondering when is this motivation going to come to you? Right now, you're wondering, why is nothing else working for me? Why am I not making 10K a month? Bro, when was the last time you even pushed yourself? When was the last time you decided to do something your mind was telling you not to do? When was the last time you woke up with 4 hours of sleep and your mind was trying to justify, go back to sleep, but you told yourself, no, I'm not going to go back to sleep? When was the last time you were doing that when you first started self-improvement? So how come you're not doing that now? When was the last time you took a cold shower because of just pushing your mind, pushing yourself to the next level? Instead of trying to justify, how is cold shower going to make me 10K a month? Forget about results. Forget about the results. Remember the identity. When was the last time we went on runs? Even me, I'll be honest, bro. One thing I'll be completely open with you about. I'm still running away from runs, which is ironic. I'm running away from running. Like there's something that I don't know why. I just don't feel like doing, which is why I must do it. So right now, I know you've been sort of like it's been 6 months, bro. And if we just made like this little change in 6 months, no way. Half a year has gone by. It's June 24th. It's almost been 7 months since this year has gone by. Half a year has already passed. Where are we? We haven't changed. Not even a single bit. Like maybe we grew some muscle and you know why? Because all we do is chase results. We don't even push ourselves. We don't push our discipline. And because the results aren't coming, we keep switching business models. We keep switching. Just focus. Just bro, trust the plan. Trust God, bro. You got you covered. If the birds go outside every single day, the birds, 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 right? They go outside and they go get food without any plan, nothing. They get the food. God takes care of them, bro. They don't even have to they don't have to worry much. They don't have to worry about freaking bills and stuff. God cares. I mean, they don't have bills, but you know what I'm trying to say. What is their equivalent to bills is what? Like freaking, prey trying to attack them? That's probably it. I don't know. So yeah, bro. Stop becoming so result focused and actually just look at yourself and see if you actually changed. This is the point of self-development. This is the point of self-improvement. To become the man who's freaking capable. To become the man who's so strong. Who's untouchable. Who's a freaking freak of nature. Why? Because of self-respect. Because you need to show your younger self that you're not that version of you anymore. Alright, bro? Remember that. Follow my IG because I'm going to be posting myself running on there. Alright? Follow my IG. First link in the description down below. I will if I haven't, DM me, bro. Like ask me, yo, did you actually run? Okay? I need to. If I'm delaying running, which is I am, this is more of a reason for me to run. This is the exact reason why I should be running, right? But I don't know, something with me. I'm gonna make an excuse of I'm bulking in the gym and I'm fat right now. So what, bro? But yeah, hopefully this made sense. Hopefully this helped you, bro. And I'll see you very soon.